Alrighty, welcome back to Let's Play Chained Echoes. I cannot tell you how excited I am to play today. I've been thinking about this game all week long. All the craziness that happened last week. We got freaking robots now. Yeah, no, this game is just out of control. We're just completely out of control now. Can I teleport currently not possible. All right. Because I want to go back. I want to go back to the old area. Because I was just thinking, like, remember those enemies that were way too strong for us? Like the dragons? I'm thinking to myself, like, oh man, that's like post-game stuff. We're going to have to come back, like, once the game's over. But you probably just have to fight them in the mechs. That's probably the whole point. You go back with the mechs, you fight them in the mechs. Kind of cool that I was able to kill one on my own. Given you're supposed to fight them in the mechs, I'm guessing. That's why they were, like, so big, too. What in tarnate? How do I land? Land. 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 Why can't I land? Ah. That's what I pressed. Oh, it's like too low. Is it? How do I? Why can't? Okay, I don't know why I couldn't land. Alright, mech fight. I don't even know what I have. Bro, this is so weird. Everyone's like so different. I don't even know like what our stats are. Man, this game is just too good. So anyways, big week this week, by the way. Ow. I gotta remember how the overheat stuff works. I gotta get to gear 1, but I can only go 1 gear. You gotta... Wow, you gotta think ahead. Okay, the mech combat is actually really interesting. Because you really have to think ahead. You can't just... When you're fighting with the humans, you can just swap out to, like, fix your overdrive meter or use a certain attack. But with the mechs, you gotta, like, think ahead. Because you can only go 1 gear at a time, and you need to get from gear 2 down to gear 0 and back to gear 1 before you can start moving right on the board. It might be better just to keep, like, 1 person in gear 1 at all times, or stagger it so you have, like, 2 people on 1 and 2 people on 2, and then when you swap, 2 people go to 2 and 2 people go to 0, and then... Because if everyone's in 2, you just immediately overheat. Anyways, it's been a big week this week. We had the State of Play on Wednesday, and it was awesome. Shockingly good State of Play. I don't think anyone was really expecting a huge State of Play. It kind of came out of nowhere. But it was awesome. Nothing like super crazy like Bloodborne 2 or Remake Part 3 or anything, but just everything they showed was like really exciting. Pragmata looks amazing. The Tactics remaster, obviously, was the big thing for us, which I think looks great. Some people have been saying, like, it doesn't look that great graphically, but I think it looks great, and the big thing about it, the most important thing about it, is that it includes the original and the remaster. So you get both. You get basically like a straight port of War of the Lions, and then you also get a remastered version with new UI, voice acting, etc., which is super cool and super good for the future of remasters. Like, hopefully, this Tactics remaster sells really well, and Square gets it in their head that this type of remaster is a good idea. Because I would love to see more games get this treatment where you get, you know, halfway between a remaster and a remake, and just the original as well. And the fact that we can play the original with, like, PS5 trophy support, and I'm sure, like, Steam achievements too, is super sick. So, very, very cool. Some people are complaining about the price because it's going to be $50, I guess. I don't know how I feel about that, because on the one hand, $50 for a remaster feels steep, like in general. I think remasters should be closer to like $40. But it's two versions of the game. You get the original and the remaster. The remaster is more of like in between a remaster and a remake because it has full voice acting, a whole new UI, extra content. So like, it's not a remake by any means, but you know, it's on the higher end of like remasters in terms of how much you're getting. And Tactics itself is a pretty rare game that's pretty expensive to play if you want to play the original. So like, I don't know. I'm in the middle. Like, I hate that it's $50, but at the same time, I kind of get it. So, I don't know. I think what worries me more, because I feel like Tactics for $50 isn't the worst thing ever, but I fear for it setting a precedent for other remasters being $50, you know? I think Tactics remaster for $50 I can stomach, but if every remaster after this is going to be $50, that's going to be a yikes. That's kind of where I'm at, but it's kind of sad. Like, obviously this isn't a good thing, but in kind of a sad way, I feel better about spending $50 on a remaster, given that new games are starting to lock down on the $80 price point, which is sad, but ironically true. Like, as much as I hate to spend $50 on Tactics, I also feel like it's such a great deal when I'm looking at, like, Super Mario World, or Super Mario Kart World, Mario World Kart, karting around the world with Mario is $80, and I'm like, man, I could pay $50 for freaking one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Remember, you can't land in high grass, near enemies, or on water. Oh, that's why, because I was too close to the enemies. That's why I couldn't land before. $78 of that's the title. True. Very true. But yeah, no, I'm not. That's not a good thing. I don't like that I feel that way. But to be honest, that is kind of how it feels. Alright, now we can go level 2. Boom. Garfield cart's only $5. True. I don't know if the heal all is actually better on Gear 2 or not. It must be. What a steal. Let's go in retro. What else? What else in the state of play? Dude, I'm genuinely kind of excited for the James Bond game. Like, I've never been a big James Bond guy. I didn't grow up in the era of James Bond. And like I didn't get any James Bond from like my dad or anything. Growing up. So I've been pretty like, other than like playing GoldenEye once or twice as a kid, and then obviously playing GoldenEye like nowadays, I pretty much know nothing about James Bond. But this new James Bond game, they're going like all out, and it's the Hitman developers who are like the best choice ever for making a James Bond game. And it looks like kind of a mixture of like Hitman and Uncharted in a way. Like it's like third person over the shoulder. It's a bit like the camera's a bit more zoomed in, like an over the shoulder Naughty Dog game, but it has kind of the gameplay similar to like a Hitman game from what we saw. And it's got like the spectacle of like an Uncharted game. And man, it looks good. And they're wanting to make it like their new big IP. They were saying like, this is the first game, but we're gonna like make this our new thing. And man, if that game is good and it becomes like a whole series, it could be like the next Uncharted. It could be the next like big pop off third person shooter game. And I'm for it, man. It looks freaking awesome. And James Bond deserves a comeback. I think a lot of people can be excited about a James Bond game, you know? So, that's really cool. And I feel like the Hitman devs are like so talented, and they've been kind of relegated to Hitman duty for like the longest time. Not that that's like a bad thing, like the Hitman games are good, but it'll be great to see them do something else. Yeah, it's called First Light. And then there was also Neo 3, which looked really interesting. It looks very different, which I think is good, because I think a lot of people's issue with Neo 2 was that it's just kind of Neo again, and I think Neo's like kind of run its course. So it's good to see that Neo 3 is like totally different than Neo 2. They're going more for like a ninja vibe, more movement. You can like switch classes in the middle of fights. It's like more fast paced, which Neo's already pretty fast paced, but you know, there's more. It's more movement, less Souls like. So it looks pretty good. Looks pretty freaking good. What else? Just a lot of cool stuff. And then obviously the big announcement was the new Marvel fighting game, which looks incredible. I'm not a big fighting game guy, but I understand why that game is so important. And like the history behind that game is really interesting if you watch the video that they played about it. But long story short, people knew that Arc Systems was working on a game for a long time, and everyone was trying to figure out what it was, and somehow magically it didn't leak for the past like 4 years that they were working on a Marvel game. Marvel fans are kind of split because it also means that we're probably not going to get a Marvel versus Capcom game. Um, which Marvel versus Capcom is like the fighting game of that genre. Like, it's a sacred art. Marvel versus Capcom is like one of, if not the greatest fighting games. So like it's a big deal. Uh, but Arc Systems is like finally getting their breakout game. They had Dragon Ball Fighters and they had Guilty Gear, I believe, which were both like semi niche but also popped off. And so now they're finally getting like their big game to really like take over the scene. And what's crazy about it is that it was Sony's idea basically. Sony approached them and said, let's make a Marvel game. And so Marvel, Sony, and Arc Systems all had to work together to make it happen, which is pretty huge. And Sony also making a full step into the fighting genre and saying, like, we want this to be our game is also huge. And the fact that they're not keeping it to themselves, but the game is also releasing on PC at the same time, is also huge. So like there's a lot of big important stuff with this game. Even if you're not a fighting game fan, it's a big game for the genre. It's a big game for Sony. It could be like really important. And hopefully it's good. And man, it looks freaking good. Holy cow. Like, and one thing that I really loved about the developer diary kind of thing they did was Marvel. They had sent their ideas to Marvel for the characters, and Marvel actually came back and said, like, no, we want it to look like we want it to look like an Arc Systems game. We don't want it to look like Marvel. Like we want you to put your own identity into it, which is so great to hear. Like in general, having a big company like Marvel, and Marvel's owned by Disney, and Disney has had a really bad rap of not being that way. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you know what I'm talking about. They kind of like ruined Kingdom Hearts 3 because they forced the Square Enix to basically make it Frozen 2 the commercial. So for them to be able to not only give up their IP to a company that has a very unique style, but then also tell them, like, we want you to make the game in your style, is like really important for just the industry in general. And hopefully we see more big companies like that when they're doing these big games with outside of video game companies, allowing them to use their own style, and especially for Disney to do that is big. I feel like it was more Marvel than Disney that made that decision, but still, like, it's a big deal. So, yeah, even if you're not a fighting game fan, I recommend watching that trailer because I just think it's important for like the video game industry in general. It's good stuff. There's also a Mortal Kombat collection coming out, which is neat. I'm kind of over collections, especially fighting game collections. I feel like there's like been a million, but the Mortal Kombat collection is actually pretty important because it has like Game Boy games and like SNES game, like it has like every version of Mortal Kombat, which is really cool to see. And it also has net play. It has rollback netcode and online play, which is huge for the Mortal Kombat community. People still play the old Mortal Kombats competitively. And like from what I understand, the only way they can do it is through mods or like, in person. So to have like an online rollback net play for those old Mortal Kombat games is really big for that scene, which is really cool. But I just like, because I've been saying for years, Square needs to do a Final Fantasy collection that has multiple copies. That would be my dream game. If you ask me like what is your dream game, my dream game is Final Fantasy 1 through 10, or even more, but let's say 1 through 10 because honestly, it's probably 1 through 6 would be asking too much already. But 1 through 10, and it has every version of every game. So you get like the original Final Fantasy 1 on NES, you get the Origins version, you get the Pixel Remaster version, and then 2, you get the original version, the PS1 version, and the Pixel Remaster version. And I also 1 and 2 have that PSP version too. So you get like each version that you can pick from. And then like Final Fantasy X, you get the original NA version, the original European version that has the Dark Aeons, and then you also get the remaster. So all the different versions of the games where you can pick and choose what you want instead of having to always give up something. If you play the Pixel remaster of 1, you're giving up on the OG style and the UI and the music and everything. If you pick the original NES version, you're giving up on the updated UI and the game not being the most broken down mess ever. If you play, so like having the option to play all of them. And that's basically what this Mortal Kombat collection is. You can play like every single version. You could even play like the SNES version of Mortal Kombat where it didn't have the blood. Like, you could play every version. So I like to see it just because it is a call to other developers to do similar type collections. So, Len, Rob, are you all right? What are you doing here? You were supposed to wait at Himmelskaiser. There you are. Well, if Sienna hadn't parked on top of the nest of a Cortara condor, we would have. We had to flee when the condor returned. Haku stayed behind. Glenn? You've joined us. Who would have guessed it? I knew it from the very beginning. I knew you wouldn't let us down. Is this how you see me? What are you saying? We know your heart is in the right place. After everything that's happened? Pa, listen. We all made the decision together 3 months ago, so get over yourself. You probably think you can take all the blame, but we have our share in this too. We carry the guilt together. That's so weird for Rob to say. That's really weird for Rob to say. He has completely changed. Rob, thank you. I don't need any thanks. Well then, let's not leave Haku alone with the Cortara condor for too long. He'll end up killing it, and we know how endangered that bird is. Together on a new adventure, shall we, Glenn? Yes. What is this feeling? I remember it from a long time ago. I felt the same when I was accepted into the Band of the Iron Bull. Yes, that's it. It feels good to have comrades again. That's probably good. I got this new armor, but I need an anvil before I can equip it. Oh man, more Final Fantasy 13 type beats. You can hover over water on the same ground level. I need to look into all these gears. Also, can I not swap characters when we're in gears? I guess not. You're just stuck with your starting team, I guess. Or maybe the others don't have gears? I made a mistake. I like how, instead of like dying, he's just kind of like sitting there. Like, I have invested. Huge damage. Yeah, the heal is not as good when I'm not in gear 2. I... Yeah, only these 4 have gears. You can get a color. Oh, you could change the colors? What is this name? They all kind of seem the same. It's more like the abilities they give you, I guess. All the stats are the same. As long as I keep them on the same weapon and their efficiencies go up. Man, who made this music, dude? Like, this just sounds like it could be in Final Fantasy 13 right now. Just drop this right in. Are those demons? Alright, hold on. Let me run to the bathroom real quick before we fight these guys. I feel like I missed something in this game. I haven't seen a lot of this Let's Play, to be honest, but I don't remember there being gears. Bro. 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 Go back and watch the last 4 episodes. This game went from a 10 out of 10 to a 20 out of 10 over the last 4 episodes. Like, this game popped off so hard, it's insane. I sat... At the end of last episode, I sat for like 20 minutes and just talked about how great this game is. Like, how much it's just blowing me away. It's truly crazy, this game. Ooh, what is that? Skibbity toilet elemental. Say no more. Say no more, I'm in. Weak against fire, you say? We're about to see the biggest yeah boy of all time. Crit chance up, damage up again. Boom. I'm dead. It was cool, but now I'm dead. Or he's dead. I expected that to do more damage. It didn't crit though, so that was part of it. Is this where I'm supposed to go, or is this a secret? Ooh. I can't climb up there? The Final Fantasy XII inspiration continuing to show its face. Those elementals look just like the elementals in 12. Whoa, whoa. Ouch. Yeah, not as scary. They could have done like a hunt. I mean, there might be a hunt for one that's like stronger. I think I'm gonna put Len in front. Actually, like using her first. Yeah, place is huge. All the AoE damage. Ooh, that sounds good. Holy damage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta watch where you're walking. Seems like taking your first couple turns in Gear 1 to kind of build up to the right, and then go into Gear 2 and cooking them. Seems like a good play. Like those ice cores are going to be useful at some point. Oops. Actually, can I get more ice cores if I do that? Maybe. I guess decoy is a moot point when this thing only does AoE. Steal from these guys. Mini trident. No. I'm just out here trying to steal stuff. You see the picture of the baby deer that we caught in the backyard of my during Memorial Day. We went and saw it last weekend. It was my niece's birthday, so we went over to their house and saw the deer. Let's do this. It was in the Discord. But yeah, we caught a baby deer in the backyard that had been left there. So my in-laws took it in, and they're taking care of it until it's big enough to leave. And even though I'm kind of building him tanky, Glenn still does so much damage. It's mostly just cross slash. It's just really strong. Raises stats at the start of battle for every free equip slot. Huh. Interesting. I like that there's some unique crystals. Looks like there's some like really unique builds you could try. Over there, looks like Haku needs our help. It'll be fine. Oh, we got the metal solo song again. Oh, I got new attacks. The enemy is preparing a strong attack. Being in gear 0 and defending is our best option. I can do that. Except with you. Ouch. Oh god, we're kind of cooked on the overheat meter. It is really hard to use the overheat meter correctly in gear mode. Especially because you run out of TP. Oh, the double hit on Glenn. Okay, but here's the deal. I don't... Oh, God. I have to attack with somebody so I get out of overheat. Oh, God, I overheated. Shouldn't have done that. Should not have done that. We're getting cooked. Nice, poison killed him. Bro, gear fights are wild. They seem simple because you don't have that many abilities, but it's hard. You gotta balance your TP and your overheat. You! How could you leave me behind? We thought you were hiding safely inside the ship. What good would that have done? The Condor would have sucked me out like a Mirandan snail dish. Well, Glenn, I'd like you to meet Haku, my only crew member. That's a bit of an understatement. I'm the captain, first mate, and helmsman of this ship, all at the same time. Always glad to hear I have a talented young man such as yourself at my side. Alright, now jump on the ship before the Condor reappears. This is the Himmelskaiser, your airship? Yep, something wrong with her? No, it's just I expected something more majestic with such a name. Haha, true, this thing is more of an airboat. Airboat? I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Harm's done. Pa, let's get going. Good job, Glenn. Now Haku is pissed. Hey, you were the one who called this rust bucket an airboat. I heard that. Whoops. Your Highness has ordered we have raised taxes in all regions. This led to riots in Basel and 5 other villages, but we were able to stop them all in time. Good work, General. Is something the matter? If you'll allow me to speak frankly, go ahead, General. In times such as these, any opinion is welcome here. Well, there's a growing resentment among the population. Even our own citizens are on the verge of revolting. Everyone thought the war was over after the battle against Ascania, but now the circumstances are even worse than before. People have to pay higher taxes, but at the same time take in less because all the young people are being conscripted. Resistances keep appearing and we have to make examples of them. Your Highness, for many years we have dreamed of seeing our flags raised on the walls of Farnsport and Warnshire, but now they are obscured by all the bodies we are hanging. As your advisor, I have to ask this question, Your Majesty. Is this austerity really necessary? Our army is strong enough. After all, we possess the Grand Grimoire. Moreover, in addition, General Godfrey, General Elena, and General Keinreich now command the powers of the Grimoire. They alone are as powerful as an entire army. So that's what you think, huh? What about the rest? My prince, well, I'm a bit confused, Your Highness, but it might be due to my my age. I see. Generals, if you think we are at war against only Dobrelia, you are wrong. Ascania and Gravos still hate us. Just because we are their new masters does not mean these dogs are going to eat out of our hands. We will not be able to negate their century-old hatred so easily, but we can prevent it from being manifested into violence against us. With their drained bodies, they can do nothing. Once their will is shattered, they will be begging for scraps at our tables as the dogs they are. Apparently, he doesn't understand the concept of assimilation. Like, it'd be much easier just to assimilate them than to try to, like, break them. I understand, Your Majesty. Furthermore, we only want to use the Grand Grimoire in an emergency. In the upcoming battle against Abrelia, your newly obtained powers will have to suffice, generals. You don't plan to use the grimoire? I beg you to reconsider. I've made my decision. Enough for today. I will retire to my chambers. As you wish, your majesty. How's it going, dragon? Look at that hair. Welcome back to New Wernshire, Sir Victor. This time accompanied by a few more people. This gentleman is Lord Sandar. He helps us restructure Wernshire as King Frederick wishes. Well, at last we meet, Sir Victor. We missed each other last time. I am a great admirer of your plays. No one else manages to breathe so much life into such imaginative characters. The pleasure is all mine. I have devoured your play about the great master Berthold several times, but say, did it all really happen like that, or was it simply a work of fiction? Many people ask this of me, however, it remains a secret. Maybe I will reveal it on my deathbed. On the deathbed of an R, that could take a while. Lord Sandar, Bishop Zacchaeus wishes to speak with you. Of all times, I hope we get another chance to talk. I'll take my leave. Huh? Well then, Taran's spy is gone. I think I know what business you are here on, Sir Victor. My opinion hasn't changed since last time. But my offer has only expanded. Sir Victor, you want to destroy the Grand Grimoire and end Taran's reign of terror over Volandis, and I'm with you on that. King Frederick rules with a harsh hand. The people are exhausted and starving. Resistance groups are springing up like mushrooms everywhere. In the last 2 months, I have been visited several times by such groups. They asked for my support. My answer was always the same. It's useless. We have no chance. My army has been reduced to 50 men and I only own 3 airships. I am a puppet of King Frederick. How are a dozen starving rebels supposed to change this situation? So, Sir Victor, tell me, why should I give you any different of an answer than I gave them? Because my offer is anything but starving rebels, and because I'm not asking you for men or weapons either. We need permission to fly under your flag and a place to base ourselves. That's all we want. Lady Braun, our plan is to destroy the Grand Grimoire. Surely we will need a troop to create a distraction in the palace while we advance for the stone, but we will recruit these men ourselves. And how will you do that? Even your personal wealth has its limits, and for reasons other than gold, no one will follow a writer such as you into battle. Allow me to interrupt, Lady Braun. There's even more to offer you. Wait, aren't you... Princess Celestia Valkyria of Taran? I am at your service. The princess is fighting on your side? On our side. My brother must be stopped. If you fear for your head, let the princess be your aegis before King Frederick. And do you know what is better than one princess on our side? 2 princesses. What do you mean? I am in contact with Princess Amalia. She leads a resistance group in Ascania and wants to join us. Are you all serious? Furthermore, I have not only an airship to use for our cause, but also 4 sky armors. Ho ho ho! Sir Victor, only you can manage to make me laugh in these sad times. You have actually managed to ignite a spark of hope in me. Now then, you may fly under my banner and bring me Princess Amalia. Perhaps your troop will be able to change things after all. I will not fail you, milady. General Tormund, take Sir Victor to Hermit's Isle. It will serve as a base for him. For Princess Celestia, I will have the guest room prepared. No need, Lady Braun. I'll move in with Glenn and Sir Victor. You're putting yourselves in unnecessary danger. I would rather put myself than you in danger. If my brother finds out that I'm hiding in your castle, it may have terrible consequences for you. I see your point. Very well then, let the light of destiny show you the right way. Thank you. I think he already knows. Do not disappoint me.